Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Ryan. This is Hamuni, and welcome back to our podcast called Turning to Truth. All right, this is part 2 of our very special guest, Hamuni, coming on. That is my grandma. And in part 1, talked about her story, her upbringing in North Korea, her escape, her meeting her husband, making her way over to the U.S. And in this part, we'll just be going over her family life, raising her children, and just some of her perspectives and her faith as she has lived a very great long life. So yeah, thank you again, Hamuni, for coming on and opening up and sharing with all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. It was quite an honor.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can start back with John, and you moved to the U.S., and I know this is a very sad topic to go over, so just share as much as you want or as little as you want from this, but he did unfortunately pass away from cancer, right? So if you want to just share a little bit about what happened and your experience. I think all 3 of your children were born by then, and just kind of how they took it and go from there.
Okay. John is a very family man. He adored children so much, far better than his own life. Unfortunately, he was stricken by this dreadful disease called cancer. Which every time I hear that word, I kind of shudder because it still pains me deeply how loving God took that wonderful man away so soon. He was in his prime age, early 40s.
Okay.
And so my children are quite young at the time. After he passed away, that powerful and impactful segment of life have changed my life completely upside down. I literally paralyzed at that time. And so all the good friends, all the colleagues that he worked with helped me immensely. I cannot even thank them enough. Because without them and without good friends, not so much of family, they are too close to comfort me in some emotional way. They are also grieving. And so I think friends have been most impactful person in my life during that period. But he, being such a good man, I think he left a lot of good people around him, which again, I'm kind of blessed at this point. But once he was gone, I felt the heavy responsibility. After passage of time, the realization that I'm alone, try to raise my 3 wonderful children. And then at times, excuse me, he's still severely missed, especially by me, and I think 2 other children old enough to appreciate who he was. But my youngest, with Lisa, was quite young. She probably didn't have the complete understanding of what death is all about. But she came along so beautifully. I am so proud of them. Without the dad, losing the dad at the early stage. And then my proud moments right now is my 3 children. They have become my backbone. They have become my counselors. They have become my supporters. Everything that I ask for. And so for that, I will be smiling. I will be so blessed. Thank God for that. And so I am able to survive this far. How did I do it? How did I cope with those tragic moments? After reality set in, my focus was on my children. That's how my deceased husband, John, wanted me to do. Make sure I'm strong enough to help them grow very responsible and wonderful citizens of the United States. So that was very powerful in my mindset. And so mostly my goal was at the time all family oriented. Family is the most important part of my life. Sometimes better than myself. Just focusing on that part of it. And it was heavy responsibility and how am I going to survive financially and emotionally. And so that's when I got into leaving my house in Colorado Springs as a rental property to gain a little bit extra income that will help minimize the financial burdens. And then emotional burden was, thank God that I have my teaching degree. So I was able to go overseas to teaching, and that also helped me minimize my emotional trauma. And so actually teaching has been my salvation. Once I am at school, again, another responsibility is to teach my students as best as I can. And so that was my main focus as well. And so that got me through. As time passes by, kids a little bit older, all in school, and then all of them fortunately graduated from college, and I was able to help them through that. That again, I kind of thank God for that. There must be divine intervention. All these things happen rather smoothly. And then when I was overseas, of course, no expenses because the military usually provides my housing and utilities. And all I had, my expense was my phone calls to children. That was about it. Just coming to the United States to see them once a year. And so that, again, helped me out. And so just little by little, I was able to manage that. And the main focus was my family, always. And then after my husband died, my children, of course. And then I have several opportunities to get married again. Many people keep asking me at your young age. I wasn't quite 40 at the time. And so I thought, well, my goal is now to family-oriented. That's my main focus.
Yeah.
And I'm able to do that so that when they are graduated, I feel like my salary has increased because I was kind of helping them a little bit every month because I was earning money. And my oldest son, Dave, he was interested in finances quite a bit. So he also guided me through how to invest. Whatever the extra income I'm getting after kids are graduating, that was just another big moment for me. And so I thank him for that. Because I'm kind of frugal by nature, because I want to make sure my ends are meeting that main goal. And so I just trusted him. He did that so beautifully. So all this kind of worked out on my behalf. And so that's how I was able to cope with it. And then when they were growing up, it was just like, when I'm especially teaching at school, I don't even think about anything except teaching the children. And my children already in school, so I was able to do that. And then when I come home, that's when I feel the void, severe void. And I almost cry myself to sleep almost every night for a long time. And I didn't want my children to experience that because they're already suffering from losing their dad. And so I go to the bathroom, I turn the water on, shower on. That's what I cry out loud. So in the mornings when I wake up, my eyes are puffy, but then that's natural things. That didn't bother me. And so I go to school, stop with the substitute teaching, and then later I got a full-time position, fortunately. And so that was another blessing placed upon me. And so the whole idea is just the whole thing kind of run very smoothly. And that's what I'm so thankful about that. When I was taking care of the children, I never thought that was too much at all because that's just my job. Because as best as I can. I'm sure I made many mistakes in retrospect, but I didn't know any better at that time. They're my first children, first husband is gone. And so that alone, I feel very thankful that I was able to do that. And then emotional impact was a little bit minimal. So they all successfully graduated very proudly with a higher education. That also, again, I think is more blessing. Now I'm counting more blessings at this point because that means I came a long way. Just losing the husband alone, what kind of suffering my children must have done. And then the responsibility of carrying dual role as a mother and father was powerful to me. Concentrating on my children more so than usual. Because of that, my focus was shifted on that, and that minimized my emotional suffering. And so that's how they grew up to be that way. This is kind of funny story. David was very shy boy. 2 solid weeks, he didn't speak a word. So the teacher thought he was having some speech problem, language problem. And so she didn't say anything, but at least he can understand. So he would follow directions, whatever it is.
And how old was he?
He was probably, preschool would be probably 3.5 to 4.
Okay.
At home, none of those I have witnessed. When I got there, he started telling all this stuff. And the teacher was just like shocked, see.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say a word in the whole 2 weeks period. After that, he was fine. He was a little bit more social, but he didn't say one word. But at home, he's very playful, just play with his brother. And I never thought of him that shy and non-speaking like that. Even when he was in the elementary school, early elementary school, he was still shyness continues. And so I enrolled him so many sports that gradually increased away from shyness. And then later I thought maybe I should put him into the karate. And he's always willing to go. He took the karate lesson. I think that is almost like a turning point for him. And then he was kind of very socialized a little bit more and more each time. All the activities, I think he learned to socialize. And so those things, I think I kind of see my child's needs. Parents are the ones who best know their children.
Yeah.
And so that's what I always kind of emphasize. After being a teacher, I can see the importance of good parenting and recognize where they are, total trial, and the strength and weaknesses. And I think I was probably able to detect that from the beginning. So that's what I did with my oldest one, because I spent more time with him than second or third, because having first child, you always devoted a lot of time to him. But anyway, both boys are very athletic, and they got involved in all the sports you can imaginable. They enjoy doing those things, so outdoor activities, especially sports related. Not only all the sports, they're just the best of the friends that I am deeply, deeply thankful. Having 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, it was such an ideal. There's another blessing in my life. For Don, like a social butterfly. In class, he finishes work so soon, he goes to another table, want to help somebody. Do you need help? Another table, just flying around like that. I was able to talk to the teacher. He probably bored with not having any work to do. He always liked to help other people. Perhaps you give him a little bit more challenging work or extra work, or send him to the library. That might keep him busy. And so that solved the problem. And now the Lisa, she just always kind of shy too. And she was playing in the elementary school when she was 4th grade, the violin, and she would become a first violinist. She doesn't even practice, but she kind of naturally have a lot of gifts. And so that's the one I was so proud of her. And so try to kind of diversify their activities any way they can, and so they can develop whatever they really interested in the most later on. But anyway.
Well, we can move a little to your life now. I don't know if you guys have seen Sheba at all throughout this, but she's been back and forth. Hamuni has a little dog, a little sheepadoodle, and she's the greatest dog there is. And I don't know if you want to just talk about her a little bit and how she's helped. And also, you're about to be 88, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And praise God, you've been very healthy.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's anything you'd like to accommodate to that health and well-being, or any advice, and just how you've gotten to this point.
Well, my philosophy is stay positive, no matter what the circumstances dictate. That always turns out for me. And so instead of complaining, I think that is something that I kind of appreciate in myself. It's just staying positive. That positive attitude does wonders. That gives you a good, happy life for me. And then hard work always. Just like being able to survive this far and successful children and so forth. Those are the ones just doesn't come naturally.
Yeah.
But comes a lot of effort and understanding and your courage. Make some wise choices. That's the one. Even my going overseas for teaching, that was very difficult time for me, because I had to struggle to see which choice I need to make. And so I was tormented by the fact that should I leave the child at home with another parent supervise the child, or I just go, because that was when my Don was going to a high school. His idea, I have to respect his ideas, because my children seems to have very insightful ideas. And so I asked him, what do I do? He said, well, Mom, I think this is the reason. He gave me all the good reasons that he should stay, finish the school. I decided, well, okay, now I'm going to respect your opinion, but I can always come back if something is to happen. That in mind, and I also contacted my school at the time, District 11 Elementary School. I was teaching in Colorado Springs, and I got all things kind of pre-planned, met with the superintendent, and I said, this is the situation, but I just wanted to have my position secured when I come back. They only give you a 1-year leave of absence. I got that. And so even then I said, I kind of liked it over there, so I still have kind of increase in my income a little bit. That helps a lot. And so I said, well, may I extend it? So they allow me to have that increase to 2 years, guarantee. And then I was having fun with the traveling when overseas teaching, the transfers with the Japan experience and Germany experience, almost like all the world travelers. And so I kind of enjoy that broadening myself. Wherever I go, I learn something new. and I always understand their culture, be appreciative of their culture, as well as I'm kind of gaining my horizon. I mean, it's just one of those things that it's a win-win situation. So that's how I did it, and I finally retired from DoD teaching. This is a Department of Defense dependent schools. So wherever American military personnel stationed, they always have American teachers assigned. That's what they call DODDS school. And that alone, I think I was so fortunate enough to go wherever I wanted to go. So Japan, my first assignment, and then later I requested for Korea, but they sent me to Germany. So again, I took advantage of the opportunity because something is beyond my control. So I just accept the fact that it's okay, I'm going to take advantage of it. Wherever you go, instead of backing it up, just take the chance and take the advantage of it. You don't know unless you experienced it.
Right.
And so in Germany, I was there about 2 years or 3 years, and then I opened request for transfer and back to Korea. That's my home, native home country. And so then I came back to Korea. That is another good experience for me because I can speak both languages, Korean and English. So I can be Korean, I can be American. And so that was another wonderful experience for me. And traveling opportunities when you are overseas and some places, very, very positive. In Korea, I traveled to Asian countries. When I was in Germany, I traveled through European countries. I think 13 countries I traveled. And then nowhere is like the United States. When you come back, you will say, wow, I will not complain about anything. So you have to develop that kind of mental set. Oh, it's too inconvenient, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. You know, somebody else can do it, you can do it too. You know, that's our mindset usually. If you can do it, I can do it. When I was going to school in the United States, same thing. And I said, well, if somebody else can do it, I can do it too. This matter is I may have to spend extra time because of my language barrier. It's not my native language, but I work hard at it. I mean, your hard work always pays a big dividend at the end. And so everything what I have done, I do not regret it. I always proud of the fact that everything come up very successfully. And I'm just so thankful for the opportunities that really adorn me. And so the different paths here and there. So it's kind of fortunate.
Yeah.
So some people usually complain a lot. Oh, this one, that. You know what? Take advantage of it. So it's just like, it's up to the individuals. Your destiny is up to you. Over here, you're podcasting right now. I am immensely proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Exploring this. And I think people at your age, we might give them a lot of advice as how to do it and have courage to try. You know, you don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But try, get some experience. You know, you might enjoy it. And everything has a beginning. And so I think I'm just so proud.
So after everything you've lived through, what do you believe matters most in life?
Oh, there's so many things. As I said, I have just always have a good appetite for learning. Everywhere you go, you learn. And also, not only staying positive, and there's so many other qualities, characters you can develop. For me, always been family and the freedom and then faith. Those three things. Faith, I'm feeling like I am a little bit weak because losing my husband, that shattered my faith.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that. I could not go to church after that. How could you? I pray every day. Every single day when they discover he had a cancer, terminal cancer. And looking at the moon at night, if they are there, only thing I can rely on you, God. It's just like crying and crying. And then I went to bed. And John didn't even know what I was doing. He was already in bed. And that didn't happen. And then once he died, I'm still kind of residual of that questioning one, still there. Even though I'm always been a Christian in a Christian family, and because of your faith, I think you have kind of ups and downs, but hopefully God will be with us sooner or later. It's still, I'm having trouble going to church every time, but it's just, you don't have to go to church. I pray a lot. When I wake up in the morning, I pray. If something is there, I pray. It's kind of automatic to me. Just thanking God for the way I am and continue to guide me to the right way. Give me some wisdom to know what is right, what is wrong. And as a human beings, we are all sinners. And I just like whatever means I can that makes me feel better. And so I do that. Because as long as you do helping others, you do no harm for the others. And so I just, in my mind, my religion appears to be now in my heart. My faith is in my heart. And so those are the things I think from my Christian background still remains.
Yeah.
I can never forsake, what God has done for me. Actually, through the difficult life, I see a lot of God intervention here and there, make my life smoother. And probably listen to my prayers. It isn't that I pray every day to God for that. But again, whenever there's this out of blue, I need to just pray. I just pray. Doesn't matter. I'm sitting here right now. I can just pray. Dear Lord, thank you. You helped me this far. So whatever you have planned for me, and I will accept. I mean, it's just things like that. It comes automatically to me now.
Yeah.
It isn't that I'm going to church. So I just sometimes the faith, I think all of you have stronger faith than I have. But I just don't forsake my faith in God.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned that a big struggle with your faith was when you lost your husband, which is understandable. How are you now in terms of that? Do you still have questions? Have you found peace in it? Understanding?
That residual question still remains because I still miss him so much.
Yeah.
Why that good man taking away so soon? Even when my kids are graduating high school, graduating college, those are the hardest time. I was angry with God for a while. My question was why?
Yeah.
Because you will never know. He has his own plans, but I just still have that residual thing in my mind. Why that young, promising, more to offer to the country, and yet you take him so early? And all the bad people around, so many bad people around, they are still stealing stuff. They're still remaining here, have a lot of power. It's just still in here. I cannot get rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard, but I just continue to work on it. I still have a lot of hope. I don't lose hope. But again, I'm so more thankful. I've been working on my gratitude. Whatever it is, even like today, how I ever known with my special grandson, I'm on a podcast sitting next to me and just so successful. Things like that. I told everybody, I can just die even smiling. Because right now, I feel like I am so immensely blessed. That comforts me so many ways when I look at my children and you guys. And that, in a way, is just vicariously so comforting factor for me. So I want you to know that. Thank you for being such a good man.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's true. That's very true, coming from my heart.
You've passed it down to the generations.
Well, I hope so. That's things when you play golf with other different people. I used to play golf almost every day when I moved to Arizona. And then you see diversified people, diversified value systems, what they have. And even that time again, I would say, thank you, Lord. You bless me so much. I can never repay. Because I thought maybe all families are similar like what I have. They devoted their family, they do all these things. But no. It's completely the other side. A lot of problems.
Yeah.
We all have a diversified backgrounds. Human beings, I've learned that very complex beings. So those are things at the growing part of it for me. I think the one that I like to live by is the golden rule. I used to have that in my classroom.
Okay.
Do unto others as you have them unto you. That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
And then also another thing I like is just like the accentuate positive. I always have that in my classroom too. Eliminate the negative and be truthful. I create my own motto one time. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and then be truthful. And then you feel good inside. You know what is true, what is not. How do we know? Based on faith. Based on faith and based on God. And so otherwise, you don't believe in God, and then you don't know what is right, what is wrong. I'm kind of jumping back and forth here and there.
No, it's all right.
Okay, but anyway, just kind of feel so comfortable talking with you like this, and just kind of share what I think.
Yeah.
I'm not too shy to express what I think.
Yeah.
Because 88 years of experience makes me a little bit, hopefully a little bit wiser than before.
Well, final question is, what do you hope that your family remembers about you?
Aha. Okay. That's going to be probably challenging at the same time, some deep thinking involved. First of all, I want them to know that I have done my best, what I did. As a parent or anything I do. Always put forth my best effort. That's all I know, how to do the best. Even though I may make a lot of mistakes when the children growing up, but I have done my best. And so as long as you do your best to your ability and within what you know, and to me, that is most comforting for me, and just mingle with positive people. And negative people brings me down. And negative people, that's something that I don't like about it. Even we all think it's a positive, but they interpret it in a negative way.
Yeah.
They're self-creating that.
Yeah.
They're hurting themselves. When you are
Definitely.
negative like that, it hurts yourself more.
And it hurts others too. It
Absolutely.
rubs off on
I mean,
them.
it's just also so many things. So when I kind of summarize the whole thing, it's just exaggerate the positive, eliminate the negative, and be truthful, always truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
great
know,
advice.
Yeah. That's how I live by. And then my dad, I once asked, I just would do things in proper way and right way, so that would please my parents and others, because I like to know what I can do. You know what he said? Just be yourself. I believe in that. When I got my job, I just don't pretend anything. I mean, just like when people lie, they cannot say the same thing again and again, because that's why they're asking all the questions again and again. If it's a lie, sooner or later, the truth will come out.
Yeah, it always does.
Yeah. The things I did when I got a job, people ask me, why don't you prepare? No, I don't need to prepare. I just want to be myself, the way I am. If they reject me, I may not like to be in that group anyway.
Yeah.
I think my dog says it's the time
Yeah.
to end
Okay.
our podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Hamuni, for all those kind words and great advice. And I really enjoyed speaking with you and learning more about you. And I hope you guys did as well. So thank you once again.
Well, thank you, my grandson, special
Thank you.
grandson.
Yeah. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. You can follow us at Turning the Truth Podcast on YouTube and Instagram, as well as Spotify, and email us at voice@turningthetruth.com. We appreciate your guys' support, and we are excited for what season 2 holds. And we will talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Prelude by Chopin.
My father was deeply respected in the community. He valued good education and good manners. After we settled in South Korea, he financed to build a new church for the community where he was a senior elder. Frequently, he sermoned. We called the church our dad's church. He was incredibly proud of that beautiful church. However, I don't recall the name. It was a Presbyterian church that I know for sure. If I ever go back to South Korea, I earnestly desire to visit the church. It would be so meaningful and unforgettable. On the other hand, the community may not be recognizable at this time. It's been so long since we left. Talking about his church and my dad, that ignites so many fond memories. He lives in our hearts forever. We are so richly blessed having him as our father. All I want to say, thank you, Father. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My amazing mama, she was highly devoted and deeply caring homemaker. She believed her primary responsibility was God-given to care for her family, to maintain in the health and happiness. She treated my father utmost respect. She also treated him as a king of the house. Her determination for her continued learning and outstanding work ethic were beyond words. My mom taught me the true meaning of devotion and commitment to family. Despite facing immeasurable hardship, she never ever complained. I will always cherish who she was and her sacrifice. That was her life. I miss her dearly.